Welcome to Simple Faith, helping you practice your faith daily. This week we're going to ask this question: how can I be sure I'm saved? If you've ever wrestled with doubt, you're not alone. Even the most sincere Christians have wondered, am I doing enough? Have I believed enough? What if I've missed something? What if I'm not really saved? What if there's some hidden thing in the book of Nahum that I got to go back and figure out that I got to do? The good news is Jesus addresses a very similar question in Luke chapter 10, the question of, am I really saved? His answer may not be what you expect. Let's talk about it. Luke tells us that an expert in the law approached Jesus with a question: what must I do to inherit eternal life? At first glance, it sounds sincere, but Luke says the man was testing Jesus. Jesus responds with a question of his own: what is written in the law? The man answers perfectly: love God with all your heart. Love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus says, you have answered correctly, and then comes with the problem. The man wants clarification. More specifically, he wants limitation. Luke says, wishing to justify himself, he asked, and who is my neighbor? That's revealing, isn't it? He isn't asking how to love better. He's asking who qualifies. He's looking for boundaries, exceptions, minimum requirements. In other words, how much is enough? Who counts? Where's the line? And honestly, that's often our question too. How good do I have to be? How much faith is enough? How can I know I'm okay? The problem is that assurance doesn't come from measuring our performance, because there's always another standard, another failure, another reason to doubt. Jesus is about to show that salvation isn't found in finding the minimum requirement. It's found in recognizing our need for mercy. Ask yourself this: when I think about salvation, what gives me confidence? My church attendance, my good behavior, my spiritual habits, or what Jesus did on the cross? Here's our spiritual discipline this week. It's that of examination, or as the Desert Fathers would call it, examine. It's the end of the day question you ask yourself: what am I trusting in most for my standing with God? Be honest. Write it down. Awareness is the first step towards assurance. Practice that discipline today. Well, thanks for joining me on Simple Faith, helping you practice your faith daily. Tomorrow we'll discover why Jesus told a story that made everyone in the audience uncomfortable, and why that's exactly what we need. I'll see you there. Make sure to keep it simple. Until next time.